Welcome back to White or Black. Today's video is my UFO encounter. This is an account that occurred to me and a friend back in summer of '95. Completely uneventful. It's just two friends hanging out. Things were a little different back in that time. People were not distracted by cell phones and other things. We actually just hung out. We talked, we joked, had good times. And we were out at a little area just outside of Eureka, Utah here. My friend was living here. It was, we refer to it as the Tinnick Junction, and their home was located right there. Granted, right here in this area, there's a road that goes out towards Cherry Creek, and you can follow that road out, clear out to the Little Sahara. But it's pretty open area. There's like 2 or 3 houses right here in this area. So pretty rural. Anyhow, what's really strange about this occurrence is there was an account that I had found. I have found articles. There had been in the past prior UFO encounters here in the area. In fact, back in 1967, there was a UFO account that spanned many states. It was covered on Unsolved Mysteries. They had interviewed different people in town. Bob Robinson was a Eureka resident who had encountered this instance. It was seen in Nephi, Utah. So just to give you a little background on the area, UFO do occur quite often in Utah. We have Skinwalker Ranch up in the Uinta Basin. So, the more and more I've looked into it, and maybe I looked into a lot of it because of my encounter. So, but anyway, just two friends hanging out. We were parked out. I had my car parked out in the driveway, at that time, and it was my first car. I was driving a 1974 green Chevy Impala, and we were just hanging out, out in the driveway, by the barn, and just chit-chatting, having a good time, hanging out like we normally would. And we're just there. She's kind of standing up, and I was kind of sitting there, on the hood of my car, and I kind of got laying back, and I don't really remember exactly what we were talking about, but we were communicating back and forth amongst each other here, and anyway, out of the corner of my eye, I'm looking out here, and off to the distance there was, nice summer day, clear sky. There was like one little cloud formation off the other side, but I caught light out of the corner of my eye. And it's not unusual to see, airplanes and different things like that, flying overhead. But this was kind of different. So as I'm looking at it, I see a silver-shaped saucer, object, stationary. And I begin staring at this thing, and I'm thinking to myself, all right, that's kind of weird. But I noticed there was like red, blue, orange, and white lights. And I mean, instantly it caught my attention, and I began observing this. And when you see something that clear and that distinct, and it's relatively close, you're kind of in a moment of shock. And I'm watching this thing, and I'm realizing as I'm watching it that as the first light on this thing, it would disappear as it was rotating, and another light would reappear on the back, which I'm just analyzing it as I'm watching this thing, and sure enough, very, very slowly, subtly, that light on the front of it would disappear. Next thing you know, another light would appear on the back. So it gave me the I was able to decipher what it was doing, and it's like, okay, it's just hovering one spot. It's not making any noise. It's really strange. And throughout all this here, my friend, she notices that my conversing back and forth with her had suddenly stopped. I'm staring off over at the horizon, and this thing's probably a mile, maybe 2 away from us. I mean, it's low, it's quiet, it's not making a sound. And she asked me, she's trying to get a response out of me, and realizes I'm no longer paying attention. My gaze is fixed in another direction, and she starts asking me what I'm looking at. And I say, when she finally gets my attention, I have no idea how long I've been staring off onto the horizon watching this thing. She asked me what I'm looking at, and I said the UFO. And she said, "What?" And I pointed at it to show her. And when it gets her attention, we're both just in awe. Once again, we're like, okay, what? Wow, this is a little closer than what most people normally get to observe. And so we're in awe. We're just watching this thing, and we're discussing things back and forth. We can't believe what we're seeing. And we start to realize, oh, it's been stationary this whole time, and then it begins to move. And so it starts slowly moving towards the east. Very subtly. And the whole time, this UFO, this saucer-shaped object, is slowly, very slowly moving to the right. The lights continue their pattern, because it's rotating. And so the light would disappear on the front. It would reappear on the back. And so we continued watching it. And like I said before, there's this little cloud formation that was off to the east of this object. And so this object, very slowly, it moves over, and it moves in front of this little cloud formation. And then we notice it starts to come back to the west, but it actually circles around behind the cloud. And we're watching this, and we're like, wow. Just in a state of awe. And we keep watching it. Anyway, it gets over here by this cloud formation, moves around back behind it, and then it becomes stationary again. Lights are, disappearing around the front as it rotates, comes around the back, so pretty well 4 lights stay visible on this object. And we're just dumbfounded. We've already probably watched it about 5 minutes. And then lo and behold, it stayed stationary there for a while. Then it began to move back to the west. And we're still watching this thing in awe, and discussing about, between the two of us. And my friend April here, she, as it starts moving back to its original location, we're both like, yeah, nobody's going to believe we're seeing this. Nobody's going to believe what we're observing. And we watch this object, and it comes back around. These are very slow, meticulous movements it's making. It moves back to its original location and continues its rotation. Well, eventually, the awe wore off, and we were joking amongst ourselves. It's like, it almost acts like it's observing us. For us to stand there and look at it that long, and I mean, it started kind of giving us a freaked out feeling. And we got to think, what if this thing's listening to us? What if, it's observing us? For us to be sitting here for 10 minutes watching this thing, this is pretty wild, pretty crazy. So, finally, when our brains are back where they're, we're functioning, she remembers her little brother is inside, and she was going to go get her little brother because she did not, she wanted somebody else to witness what we were looking at. So we had a third voice saying, yeah, we watched this and we're all seeing it. And this is where it gets really weird, because we were talking about, hey, this thing's, maybe it's observing us or listening to us. And it was no sooner, she was motioning me toward, we'd kind of made our way back towards the house. She was going to go inside and get her little brother. It was no sooner that she had said she was going to go and get her little brother that we watched this object, and it's hard to describe. It's there. We could see the lights. And the best way to describe it is seeing these four lights around this object. It appeared like all four of the lights around this object, like all these lights all of a sudden started merging together. And they started forming a bright white light, just like a pinpoint of light. Like the object itself was almost morphing into something else. And it formed into this big, bright white light. And as it did, that light started to dissipate. And as it did, this object that was in the sky, no sound. I mean, the whole time we've observed it, there's been no sound, no, nothing to it. This bright light started to diminish. The object disappeared. Gone. No sound. It didn't like fly away. It just vanished. Like it just faded away. And I mean, you could make out it was silver. The sunlight was reflecting off of it. And so we're just standing there like, I can't believe we encountered this. She was pretty spooked about it. I mean, I was spooked about it. And, her parents were not home. Her father was at work. And so, yeah, she did not want me to leave. So, I hung out a while with this. I mean, like I said, people see him from afar and, back at this time, you didn't have cell phones. We didn't have, readily available cameras. So there was really no way to capture anything, photographic evidence, video evidence, anything to that effect. So, yeah, it was pretty odd. And yeah, it's one of those crazy instances, we had the rarity to experience. Oddly enough, there will be some follow-up video to this. I personally have experienced other things that I have no explanation for. I have certain instances of, lost time, where I actually lost an hour of time, some of which I had forgot, that my wife had remembered, but I had forgot. I've had other instances of finding strange things on my physical being, a lot of strange things, and I think this encounter kind of made me start analyzing some of these other instances that had happened to me. So, yeah, we will definitely be doing some follow-up videos to this. We may do a collaborative video with my friend April. She's got a YouTube channel as well, And I will leave a link on the video description so you can check out her channel. And we will, we may do a collaborative video with her, and where we can kind of both rehash, what happened, what we remember. But yeah, there is more information, to this story, and we will do another follow-up video on that. So anyway, I hope you guys enjoyed the video today. I encourage y'all to like, subscribe, and share the channel, share the videos, so other people can have the opportunity to enjoy it. Helps us get the videos out there when you leave a like. So I hope you will like the video. Until next time, we will see you in the next video.